Dear students, after understanding about neurons in previous lecture, today we will study about central nervous system in detail. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Brain is an organ that serves as the center of nervous system. Spinal cord is a long thin tubular structure made up of nervous tissue. We will discuss brain and spinal cord in detail. In animals, all activities are under control of brain. Brain is present inside a bony cranium. The meaning of cranium in Urdu is khopdi, and students, you people are familiar with this word. It is basically bony skeleton in head of vertebrates. Inside cranium, brain is covered by 3 layers of meninges. Meninges is a membrane that covers brain for protection and to provide nutrients and oxygen to brain tissue through their capillaries. The brain contains fluid-filled ventricles. Ventricle means hollow parts or cavities. These ventricles continues with central canal of spinal cord. Fluid within central canal and ventricle is called cerebrospinal fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid is a clear colorless body fluid which protects brain and spinal cord from injury. It also supplies nutrients and removes waste from brain and spinal cord. You can see movement of CSF around the brain in this picture. There are 3 major regions in brain as you can see in this picture. These regions are forebrain, which is further divided into thalamus, hypothalamus and cerebrum. Next is the midbrain, and at last hindbrain, which consists of medulla oblongata, cerebellum and pons. Students, the first part of brain is forebrain, which is largest area. It is highly developed in human. The first part of this region is thalamus. Thalamus lies just below the cerebrum, and its functions are: it serves as a relay center between various parts of brain and spinal cord. Relay means receive and pass on information or a message. It receives and modifies sensory impulses except from nose before they travel to cerebrum. It also involves in pain perception and consciousness. Perception means awareness through senses. Next part of forebrain is hypothalamus, which lies above midbrain and below thalamus. In human, it is roughly the size of an almond. Its functions are: it links between nervous system and endocrine system. It also controls pituitary gland. It controls the feeling such as rage, pain, pleasure and sorrow. Rage means uncontrollable anger. The last part of forebrain is cerebrum. It is the largest part of forebrain. Its functions are to control skeletal muscles, thinking, intelligence and emotions. Students, remember the word sight to learn these functions. In sight, S stands for skeletal muscles, I for intelligence, T for thinking and E for emotions. Now, the structure of cerebrum. It is divided into 2 cerebral hemispheres. The interior part of cerebral hemisphere are called olfactory bulbs, which receive impulses from olfactory nerves and create the sensation of smell. The upper layer of cerebral hemisphere is called cerebral cortex. It consists of grey matter. The grey matter of central nervous system consists of cell bodies and non-myelinated axons. Beneath this layer, is present the white matter. This white matter of nervous system consists of myelinated axons. Cerebral cortex has a large surface area and folded in order to fit into the skull. It is divided into 4 lobes. These lobes are frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe and temporal lobe. I will discuss the function of these lobes one by one. In frontal lobe, its function is it controls the motor functions, permits conscious control of skeletal muscles and coordinates movement involved in speech like movement of cheeks, lips, eyes during the speech. Parietal lobe contains sensory areas that receive impulses from skin like to feel pain, temperature, etc. Occipital lobe receive and analyze visual information, and at the last, temporal lobe concerned with hearing and smell. Students, hippocampus is a structure that is deep in the cerebrum. It functions for the formation of new memories. People with a damaged hippocampus cannot remember things that occur after, but can remember things that occur before damage. Students, in video lecture 3A, you have learned about forebrain. For remaining divisions of brain, that is midbrain and hindbrain, and about spinal cord, you have to watch and understand video lecture 3B. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, in this lecture, we will study about remaining parts of brain and spinal cord. Second part of brain is midbrain. It is located between forebrain and hindbrain. It receives sensory information and sends it to the appropriate part of forebrain. It also controls auditory reflexes, means reflex in response to a sound like closure of eyes by sudden sound. Over posture means sitting and standing position is controlled by midbrain. Third part of brain is hindbrain. It consists of 3 major parts: medulla oblongata, cerebellum and pons. Again, I am going to repeat: pons, cerebellum and medulla oblongata make the hindbrain. At the end, there is spinal cord. We will discuss these parts one by one in next slides. Medulla oblongata lies on the top of spinal cord. It controls breathing, heart rate and blood pressure. Many reflexes, vomiting, coughing, sneezing are controlled by hindbrain. Information that passes between spinal cord and rest of brain pass through medulla oblongata. Students, the second part of hindbrain is pons. It is present on top of medulla oblongata. It assists medulla in controlling breathing. It also serves as a connection between cerebellum and spinal cord. The third part of hindbrain is cerebellum. It is present behind the medulla oblongata. It coordinates muscle movements. As you can see in these pictures, different activities are going on under the control of cerebellum. This picture is showing the transmission of impulses between spinal cord and rest of brain through cerebellum. As medulla oblongata, pons and midbrain connect the rest of brain to spinal cord, they are collectively called as brain stem. Again, what is brain stem? Brain stem is Combined name of medulla oblongata, pons and midbrain.
The human brain. The human brain controls all the bodily functions and works like a network that releases messages to different parts of the body. An average human brain weighs about 3 pounds. It has many folds and roots which are used for storing and passing information. The brain is protected with the help of the bones of the skull. The meninges are a cushioned layer of membrane, which, along with the cerebrospinal fluid, protect the brain. The brain is divided into 3 parts, known as the forebrain, the midbrain, and the hindbrain. The forebrain is the largest and most complex part of the brain. It consists of folds and roots and is also referred to as the cerebrum. The forebrain contains information related to human intelligence, memory, personality, emotions, speech, and the ability to feel the mood. The cerebrum is again divided into 2 parts, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. The left hemisphere is considered to be logical, analytical, and objective, and the right hemisphere is thought to be more intuitive, creative, and subjective. The midbrain acts as the master coordinator of all the messages going in and coming out of the brain to the spinal cord and is located underneath the middle of the forebrain. The hindbrain consists of the cerebellum and medulla, and it sits underneath the back end of the cerebrum. The cerebellum is responsible for balance, movements, and coordination. The cerebellum means little brain in Latin. The pons and the medulla, along with the midbrain, are often called the brainstem. It sends out and coordinates all of the brain's messages. It also controls other automatic bodily functions like breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, swallowing, digestion, and blinking of the eyes. The different centers of the brain help us to form different activities. The cerebrum helps us in movements of our body. Involuntary actions like the heartbeat, breathing, and swallowing are controlled with the help of the medulla.
Dear students, our next topic is about second part of central nervous system. Yes, you are thinking right. It is spinal cord. So first question is that what is spinal cord? Spinal cord is a tubular bundle of nerves. What is spinal cord? It is a tubular bundle of nerves. Tubular means long, round like a tube. Bundle means collection of things or anything wrapped together. And nerve you already learned in previous lectures. I am going to repeat its definition. Nerve is the union of several axons that are enveloped by a covering made of lipids. So, spinal cord is a tube-like collection of nerves. Next question is that what is location of spinal cord? Spinal cord starts from the brain stem and extends to lower back. Again, recall your previous lecture knowledge about brain stem. Medulla oblongata, pons, and midbrain collectively referred as brain stem. Now, the structure of spinal cord. Like brain, spinal cord is covered by meninges. These are the 3 membranes which has function to protect and to provide nutrient through their capillaries. The vertebral column surrounds and protects spinal cord. The outer region, as you can see in the diagram, is made of white matter containing myelinated axons. The central region is butterfly shaped. See in the diagram, it is butterfly shaped that surrounds the central canal. It is made up of gray matter containing neuron cell bodies. Spinal cord is roughly 40 cm long and about as wide as your thumb for most of its length. It is continuation of medulla oblongata. 1 pairs of spinal nerves arise along the spinal cord. These are the mixed nerves because they contain axons of sensory and motor neurons. At the point where spinal nerves arise from spinal cord, there are two roots. As you can see in the diagram, there are two roots. These roots unite and form one mixed spinal nerve. The first root is dorsal root and the second root is ventral root. Dorsal means upper side or back of an organism or an organ, and ventral side is front or lower side of an organism or an organ. Dorsal root contains sensory axons and a ganglion where cell bodies are located. It receives messages from the receptors. Ventral root contains axons of motor neurons which transmit messages towards effectors. At the last, what is function of spinal cord? The functions of spinal cord are: it serves as a link between body parts and brain. It transmits nerve impulses from the body parts towards the brain and from brain towards the body parts. Spinal cord also acts as a coordinator for simple reflexes like withdrawal of hand after touching a hot object. Hope you understand the topic. Learn it well. Do practice of diagrams as given in diary. Thank you very much.
यूं दी हमें आजादी के दुनिया